Very good morning, afternoon or evening from Martin Lynch and Sons from the comfort of my home, sitting in my office, because of course none of us are in the store bar a handful of my packers and wrappers. And a big thank you to Dan, Gary and Paul, the main dispatch guy, who well done to the carriers and post office and DPD and UPS and everybody else we use. Right, so I'd just like to go through a few pieces of kit that I thought might be interesting. For all of you that love SPE amplifiers but hate waiting 6 months to a year, Gianfranco manufactures these in his home in Italy, never a step production up. He just keeps trundling on. He's always got back orders from us and the few distributors around the world that are allowed to sell his amplifiers. I'm pleased to say we're one of them. We recently supplied, like Monday or Tuesday this week, the big 2KFA, which is a 2 kilowatt linear from SPE. And just because it is 2 kilowatts, we say you don't need 2 kilowatts, you're not allowed to run more than 400. Agree, but cars do more than 70 miles an hour too, but you just shouldn't use it. The big advantage is when it's loafing along at 400 watts, it's very underrun and it will probably last you forever. We have actually got a spare one available from stock because we did order extra. And I'm pleased to say one is available today, and if you were thinking of an SPE 2K, we've got a brand new box one ready to ship at $51.49. Big investment, but unlike your rigs where you may change for the latest one, amplifiers, rotators, power supplies, customers generally, as indeed I do, you buy it and you keep it forever. So it's somewhere on my shack, which you can't see because it's sitting in front of me. I've got a, oh there it is, my Wells power meter. Look at this. There's half his shack collapses. That is a totally off topic, by the way. It's got nothing to do with the SPE. That's a Wells. Look at the dust on it. I mean, goodness me. The SP300. I used to sell these and I was at Burney and Brenda's in the 70s. It's one of the few Japanese companies many years ago that went bust. But the engineering on this is fantastic. So like I was saying, you might swap your rigs for newer ones and more updated ones, but you still keep your trusty old meters, power supplies and rotators. So consider that. If you're looking at an amplifier SPE, you won't have to wait 6 months as this certain other gentleman, I wish I could tell you who it was, but I'm not going to. You'd laugh if you knew. We've got that in stock and just click and purchase. Or if you've got something to part exchange, like an older amplifier or something, give our sales guys a call on 0345 2300 599 and they'll discuss it with you. All right, next up is pretty obviously really the fantastic ICOM IC7300. I'm pleased to say a good quantity of these from ICOM UK. And we've had our deliveries last week, and I think another batch turned up on Monday or Tuesday before the end of their financial year. I don't need to say anything about it because if you don't know about the 7300 yet, I'll be surprised. We've been selling them for 2 years. It is without question 100% our best-selling HF radio. Full SDR, touchscreen, nice high bright display. HF6, built-in tuner, and for the price there really isn't a lot that touches it, and certainly in performance. Peter Hart raved about it when he reviewed the unit. These are available from stock as of today. As you can see, by the way, if you're not used to our website, although you probably are, if it's green, it says in stock, it really is, because that's linked directly to our back order system. It knows what's in stock, and you click it and you get it within either the day or the day after that. IC7300s are on special offer at the moment from ICOM. Thank you, Bob, the owner of ICOM UK. He very kindly allowed us to offer you the SM30, which is the proper ICOM matching desk mic, or the ICOM SP38 as a freebie. So prices haven't gone up yet, but because we forward ordered, we've got those available. Alternatively, you can do what a lot of customers have done, and that's bought the PTRX 7300. You can see the PTRX 7300 here. This is an internal module that even the most basic of operators I don't mean that rudely, but you just need a screwdriver. You don't even need a soldering iron. Take the top lid off, put this in, pull a lead out of the board, plug it into this, put the other lead out of this board back into the radio, and then you have a lead that hangs out the back of the 7300. So again, you don't need to drill any holes. And what that allows you to do is have a low level output to drive an SDR. Why would you want to do that? Well, first of all, you've got another high performance receiver bolted onto the 7300, but more importantly, you then got the band scope function, which a lot of people, when the 7300 came out, emailed me and indeed contacted Japan and says, great radio, please give us a nice display. So because we want to see the frequency range on an external display like the IC7610. Well, ICOM aren't going to do that, weren't going to do it. This is a method of doing it. That board is £189.95p. We've sold hundreds of them. We're the sole distributor for that product in the UK. We're giving it away free. So you can either choose the SM30 microphone, the proper ICOM mic or speaker, or you can have the PTRX. If you don't want to fit it yourself, don't want to take the 4 screws out, no, it doesn't invalidate the warranty at all if you do. We can fit it for you for an extra 20 quid. So have a look at that. That's the IC7300 with the available options. Next up, obviously, is the ICOM IC9700. If you've already got a 7300 or like the VHF and UHF. Now that took a bit of a dive many years ago when they relinquished the CW Morse test. Thank God I passed it when I was a kid, or when I was 17, 18, whenever it was. I was so mad keen on getting my Morse test that I managed to just about get up to 13 words a minute, I seem to remember, and went up to St Martin's Le Grand. Anybody go there? And the old boy that took the Morse test was about 90. His CW sending was so erratic, and who am I to say, he's a spotty little kid in those days. But it really was pretty bad, but I managed to pass it, got my Morse. Don't have to do that anymore. Anyway, that mullered VHF, UHF sales when that was taken off the requirements to get on HF. So VHF took a dive. However, it's kept going, and I'm pleased to say the 9700 from ICOM is single-handedly brought operation on 2 and 70 right up. It has got 23 SEMs on it. We've never sold so much 23 SEM antennas, but even if you took 23 SEMs out, $17.95 for a really high performance SDR again, dual band 100-watt transceiver is very, very good value. Touchscreen display, etc., available now. Again, ICOM UK were very kind in giving us SP38s or SM30 matching microphones. Price is still the same at the moment, $17.95. And available now. Click or ring in if you've got somebody to trade in, just give our guys a ring. So do think about that. You'll be staggered how much operation is now on 2 meters and 70. And I'm talking about SSB as well, not just FM and data modes. Have a go on 2 meter sideband. I'm not going to reach up and get it now, but I've got a row of IC 202s from the E to the S. We've got 402s up there, IC 502s. I was mad on 2 meters when I had my original G8 call in the early 70s. So that's the IC 9700. I hope this is recording, by the way. It's the first time I've done this pin-in-picture malarkey, but I've seen other people doing it. I thought that's a good idea. I apologise, I'm not at the shop. I've been barred from going outdoors by my lovely Mrs. Jennifer. Because I'm an old fart apparently, well I am, and I'm still sitting at my desk every day. I'm semi-retired, I'm working a lot harder now than I have done for a few years, so the lads think it's hilarious, but there you go, it's all good fun. Right, so on to the next one, the Mitel Nisai DG503. Bit of an increase in these, a bit like I said earlier. You don't need to swap amplifiers, power supplies and SWR meters. You normally keep those. Here's a great little piece of kit, the DG-503. If you wonder how you find all this stuff, just tap it in our search box here. People do ring up and say, well, how do we find that then? Just put it in the search box, and if we've done our job properly, it'll pick that up when you tap in DG-503. As you can see, a nice big 3-inch display, LCD display. I love it how everybody in the cellular phone market and iPads and all the rest of it quote inches. Keep it going, because if it said millimeters, I'd have to scratch my head just a little bit longer, probably due to my age. So the 503, 1.6 to 525 megs, 200 watts of power. You can't beat the display. I mean, look at that, reflected up on there permanently, and forward power, and your SWR at the bottom. You select VHF, UHF on the button on the front, and on the rear there's two sets of terminals, of course, for both rigs. So nice and easy to use. I really love those things. We sell hundreds of them, and I do believe Raycom did a review on it a while ago, might be wrong. Normally 140 quid. I've got lots of stock, 109.95 on one of those, and just 6 quid postage. So if you are looking for a really nice clear meter, that's backlit, by the way. Just plug it into your 12 volt supply, and that really is nice and pretty evenly lit. Right, next one, talking about NISI, is the 1230D. Again, nice backlit, bright display. These are my pictures. I remember taking these in the shop when they came out last year, I think. Where this is slightly different is that NISI said to me, do you think it'd be good if we could sell power supplies with Anderson power poles on the back? That's these things here, to make it easier for people to connect more equipment to. A nice idea, and I said, yeah, I think they'll sell, and that's an understatement. They've sold very well. You've still got the big poles, binding posts on the front. That'll supply 25 to 30 amps, and this thing 94.95, normally 120 quid. Again, shipping 11.95, only because we can get that to you by DPD. It's quite heavy, so it's cheaper, so it's faster and more efficient for us to send that to you by carrier. Really good power supply. People still ask me, oh, I'm looking at a power supply, switch mode, or is there noise and stuff? That is so, not even last year, it's so 20, 30 years ago, when switch mode power supplies first came to amateur radio use and commercial use. The noise they used to sprog out was unbelievable. That really is so far gone, it's untrue. And that little NISI is enclosed in a steel case with an aluminium front panel. You wait, if you do buy it, you feel the Yaesu FTDX 3000. Been selling these for years. A proper 100 watt base station size radio, so if you don't want to chase a small rig around your desk, do consider the Yaesu FTDX 3000. I was selling FT990s, for those of you who are old enough to remember them, in 1990. My first store, a little corner store in Ealing, and I remember they were 2,600 quid, and in typical Lynchy fashion, I think I discounted them at 2,200 or 2,300 quid. All these years later, 30 years later, we're selling these things for £1,300. I mean, it's mad, really, but that's how people haven't for quite a while now said, oh, ham equipment is so expensive. It really isn't if you compare it to what they used to be years ago. It's gone down and down and down. And if you want to know about it a bit more, look at old Steve. Look, there he is, my workshop manager. Good morning or afternoon or evening, Steve. He did an in-depth review, and it's on our YouTube TV channel, which is ML&S.tv, www.ML&S.tv, and you'll find that there if you want to know about it in a bit more detail. Alternatively, give my guys a call. It's in stock, and we can ship it today. That's if you're watching this Monday to Friday. Right, CG3000. This is manufactured by Feng and these guys in Shanghai. It's an automatic remote tuner, and the reason I thought I'd bring this up, first of all, the price is nuts at 289 quid, but more importantly, the product is a remote tuner. And I know, looking at the items that are being sold, I'm really pleased to say that hams far and wide are playing around with aerials, buying coax plugs, as you know, with a distributor of M&P. Coax, which is the best cable you can buy. It's pushed everything out of the window. We trade it, so all the other dealers, majority of them buy it from us, including some very, very big distributors. The CG3000 is a remote antenna tuner. What this means is if you just want to stick up a random wire antenna in your garden, You can buy one of these. Let's just stop it going nuts. This slideshow does semi-loopy sometimes. You can bolt this thing onto your wall at the back, or screw it onto the back of a shed, or wherever, onto the fence. On the top here is a ceramic pillar about that big with a wing nut on the top. Literally string up some wire in your garden, run it to a piece of string through an insulator, have a tail running down from the wire, and literally screw it to the top of the insulator on the remote tuner, end-fed wire tuner, the CG3000. It's got 2 leads on there, as you can see. One is to feed it with 12 volts and one is to put the RF in from your rig. It will then sniff the RF as soon as you transmit. This will handle 100 or 200 watts, incidentally, 100 watts ideally, and it'll automatically tune really quickly, but better than that, it'll put that frequency into memory. You can then go through all the bands to set it all up. When you go back, if you're approximately on the same frequency, it will know, oh, hello, he hasn't changed frequency. I'll go back to the pre-designed, pre-designated tune position, and bang, it's done like that. If you are 2, 3, 5, 20 kilohertz off, whatever you are on different bands, of course, it makes a big difference. It will retune and put that into memory. So eventually, all these memories will, there's 200 of them, will multiply, and it'll be so rapid you literally won't notice it tuning. So if you're looking at having a go with random wire aerials in your garden, do consider the CG3000. It's less than half the price of alternate manufacturers, number one, and number two, these at the moment are readily available, though I did notice a lot of you have been buying them. Thank you very much. And I've just ordered another load from the factory only yesterday. So CG3000 to $89.95, but there's a extra, and the extra is we're throwing in the control unit, remote control unit. You don't need the control unit, but let me just show you what that looks like. It is that, and it's a little box, aluminium box, with a load of cable, with a reset button if it does lock up. Unlikely, but at least you don't have to go running down the garden if it's chucking it down with rain. With it, incidentally, the CG3000 is fully weatherproofed. It's all got rubber seals and everything else in it, and the glands where the cables go in. More importantly, though, it's got a tune indicator. So when it has automatically tuned, when you've transmitted, that comes up and goes green. That's 50 quid. And because I'm such a nice bloke, we're throwing it in for free. Just remarkable, isn't it? They're available in stock. So CG3000, just again search in here. I'll show you CG-3. There you go, CG3000 automatic tuner, and it comes up. Right, goodness me, so much stuff. I'd like to just say a big call out and thumbs up, massive thumbs up to my chum DX Commander, Cullum, who has also got YouTube presentation. If you search DX Commander in YouTube, you'll see this cheery-faced young fellow. He's actually younger than me, quite a bit younger than me, but he's a lot younger looking bugger. If you want total entertainment for amateur radio, I mean total entertainment, do check out his channel. He's on every day at the moment. I did have a quick chat to him last night and said, I have it running when my missus goes to bed, because he does late night chats. I have it running on one of my screens, and it is not only very informative and really interesting, it is very funny. So please check. His channel's almost as good as ours. Actually, it's a lot better. He hasn't been running it quite as long, and he's got a hell of a lot more followers, but to be honest with you, I'm not surprised. So big thumbs up to him, do support him, and that's it for now. There is lots of second-hand gear, obviously, and I might actually ask my young fellow Jonathan to go through that, probably in a similar vein to the way I'm doing this. So stand by your beds. That's it. I hope I press the record button, otherwise I've been waffling on for 20 minutes. I'll have to do it all again. Please keep safe. Thank you for your support. As always, I really, really appreciate it. And please look after yourselves. Until the next time, goodbye.